Good evening everyone and welcome back to the channel. So tonight's video we're going to be having a little look at our beef cattle. We're going to see how they are doing. Heifers, got rid of some last week. I didn't video them, I'll explain why in a moment. We're also getting rid of some this week. So we're going to have a little look through those. We'll have a little look at our bulls, just see how they're doing. Also calving season has really got into swing over the last number of days. We're going to have a look at some of the calves that's been born. We're going to see how they are doing and how calving is going so far. Yeah, so that's basically what tonight's video is going to be. There's going to be no machinery, nothing like that in it at all. So it's just all about cattle and how they are doing. No video over the last, I think it's about 8 or 9 days since I had a video up. Reason for that being is that we had a bereavement in the family, so we were dealing with all that last week. So I'm sure you'll understand why there was no videos. So anyway, let's get on with tonight's video. Alright, so as I said, this evening we're going to be looking at some of our heifers that are for factory tomorrow morning. So you're going to see them just as they are coming fit. Heifers. We haven't always finished heifers. We actually were predominantly all bull beef. That's what we finished, that's what we like to finish. We've been working at that for a number of years. We were quite good at it, and we had to move to heifers because price for bull beef just went through the floor over the last number of years and wasn't worth finishing. So moved to heifers. Problem with heifers is you're feeding them, you have to keep a tight eye on them coming near the end because they start to go over fat very quickly. And especially now at the end, 22 we got rid of last week. There was a few of them over fat, so you end up getting a cut on that once they're over fat. But what these cattle have done in the 7 days from when we looked at them to now is just phenomenal. So a lot of them now will be just coming near that point where they're going to go over fat. So we've a lot of heifers to kill. Yeah, some of the things you have to look for is you want to check fat cover. So you'll be checking along ribs here. Make sure that firstly that there is enough flesh on it, but you want to watch that they're not going over fat. Around the tail here is another point where when they start to go over fat, you can see the fat starting to form around there. But like that horse, she is 100% okay. But Charlies don't tend to go over fat anyway, so it's not going to be much of a problem at all. We'll see if we can find one that possibly might be a little bit more of an issue. Again, she's not too bad, this one here. Let's see if we can just see. Come on girls, you can get them to move on up a little bit. Now see the likes of horse, she's starting, there's a little bit more fat around her than the Charlie we looked at a second ago, but still should be okay. This girl here in the corner, now she's going to be definitely a suspect one that we'll have to keep an eye on and just see when we get the kill sheet back, see what she's like. But do tend to finish quite quickly, heifers, even compared to bulls. You can't get them into the same weights, but that's only natural. They're not as big animal. They don't have the built-in hormones that the bull have, and it's just the way it is. Do I like finishing heifers? Yes and no. I like the fact that they come in fairly quick. Don't like the fact that they go over fat. Don't like the fact that you don't get them into big weights, and if you haven't got good weights, you're not going to have a great price on your kill sheet. So it's just the way it is. But yeah, lovely batch of heifers, all continental breeds as you can see, and yeah, these 20 here in this pen, they're all going in the morning. There's another 20 in the shed up above. We'll have a wee look at those as well, but they're pretty much the same as these. I'll just go up there now. Okay, so just up in the other shed, and we've another 20 heifers in here. Again, these girls here are all fit as well, and pretty much the same in the type of stock as we had in the other shed. There is a couple of smaller ones. The likes of this girl here, she is a little bit smaller. She is out of my own herd, and she has come in very fast. She was actually part of the second batch of heifers that began feeding, but she has come in very quick. There's 3 or 4 out of my own herd that have just come in very, very fast. No, not this one here. The girl here looking at us, the one beyond her, there's another one here at the back over at the drinker. You can see the yellow one, and then there's another one in the back. So they're all they're all less time on feed, but they've done phenomenally well on the feed. But yeah, that's really it. We will see how they do. And I'll try and report back to you during the week when we get the kill docket back, the kill sheet back. I'll report back how they've done, how they graded, how many was over fat. We're hoping that there's very little of them over fat. We're trying to kill them early enough that they're not. We want to get as much money wise as we can for them, so hence why you better kill them a little bit on the lean side rather than letting them go over fat, because there's a huge drop off in price in an over fat animal. So but as I say, we will report back on that a little bit later in the week. We'll have a little look at the bulls while we're here as well and just see how they're doing. Alright, so 2 pens of bulls is all we have this year, which is very strange for us. We usually have a lot more of them. These are in probably feeding about the same time as the second batch of heifers, and they'll feed on for a little bit yet. Now they are starting to do fairly well. There is 3 of them that will be going this week, but it's because of their age. They're just coming 24 months over the next couple of weeks, so we're going to kill them off out of the herd. They are finished as such, so it's not going to be an issue. But yeah, bulls are doing well, no hassle. They become quite docile once they're inside and on full feed, but you can see we'll feed away at these for a number of weeks. Yeah, try and get them into a little bit better weights, and yeah, there will be a clear out then of these as well. We do hope to replace some of them. I'd probably like to put, when we get cleared the sheds, I'd like to have another 50 heifers and 50 bulls in for finishing this winter and go again with them, but we'll see. It'll all depend on price. We'll just have to see how they are. Cattle in the factory have gotten very dear, and we'll just have to see over the next few weeks what happens on that front. But yeah, we'll see what happens and we'll keep you informed on it. But yeah, some lovely bulls, and all doing very well. So that's a look at those. Let's go over to the calving shed and see how the calving is going. Alright, so over now in the calving shed, we'll have a little look at the cows and calves. We have 2 calves in here. There shouldn't be 2 calves in here, just the one from next door has come in through the barrier and is introducing himself to the newborn one from today, so that can happen sometimes. Yeah, so calving really started in earnest last week. You do remember we had a calf 3 weeks ago that we had a little issue with after it was born, and we had the vet out with it, had to treat the calf. We thought it was a scour initially. It turned out it was a little stomach issue that it had, and sorted it out. We left the calving jacket on it for the last number of weeks, and calf was doing fantastically well, was creeping in and out with the other cows and calves, and took the calf jacket off Saturday evening. But by Sunday evening the calf was a little sluggish, blowing a little bit. This didn't seem himself, so we ended up having to put the calf jacket back on him last night, Sunday night, give him a couple of shots. We isolated him and the mother in on their own, and calf was 100% today, back up drinking and in good form. So no idea why he took a little bit of a chill. We took the calf jacket off because it was warm, so we were expecting everything to be okay, but it just wasn't. So but he's okay now today, and he's still in the back with his mother. But after that then there was no calves, so she was a little out of sequence. She was way ahead of all the rest. First calf we had was last Thursday. We had 1 calf born last Thursday, which is actually this guy here who's over introducing himself. No calves on Friday, 2 calves on Saturday evening, no calves on Sunday, and then a calf today, which is this little guy here. Lovely, it's actually a heifer calf, lovely big heifer calf, out of one of our best cows. And I'm going to keep this this calf for or as a replacement. At this stage, we started the suckler cows. Our first batch of calves were born in 2010, so our cows at this stage are all 11, 12 years old. Not all of them, but the majority of the older ones. We did keep, was it 5 or 6 heifers a couple of years ago. We kept a few heifers before that ourselves, another 5 or 6. We bought in 5 or 6 heifers as well at one point, so they're not all that old, but Probably half of them at this stage is of that older age, and we just want to freshen the herd up a little bit. You become kind of sentimental with some of the older cows. You like to keep them around, but once they start getting old, then they start having issues then, and it's no good then. It may be a little bit slower to go back and calf and whatnot. So you want to keep it fresh. So what we intend to do is we're probably going to buy in maybe 6 or 8 heifers, and we're also going to keep some heifers as well over the next few years. So that's the plan, and just over the next number of years start to any issues or anything that doesn't look, any cows that has any little issue at all, we're going to start to cull them out. I know it's not always easy to do that when you become attached to cows, but you have to do it. But yeah, lovely calf. She calved herself, no issue at all, and yeah, everything went well. This does need bedded, but we are not bedding it because we are cleaning it out tomorrow. So there's no point putting straw down on it. It was bedded last night, but because there are 2 cows in here, we are making quite a mess, and it doesn't really matter. We're going to clear it out tomorrow, and they'll have a nice fresh bed then at that point. Yeah, this is the Frisian cow here. She's actually a cow that was in calf, and we've kept her. Always has a really nice calf. She's lots of milk. Really makes a good job of our calf every year, so there was no need to get rid of her. And the cow here on to the left, which owns the little stowaway calf, she's also a fantastic cow. She's not one of the older ones. She's probably around 8 years old, so she's a few more calving seasons left in her, this one. She's a shorthorn cross, so yeah, some nice breeding, and always produces a nice calf. Fairly docile. She's a fairly docile kind of cow, and lots of milk. So all features that you like to have in your cows. But yeah, all our cows now are back home. The ones that were out on the out farm are all back here too. These here are all cows that calved towards the end of last year, so they all have calves. If the weather turns anyway dry, we have a couple of sheltered pieces of land with some grass that we didn't eat down or do anything with, and these are all getting out there. So the next dry spell that comes, there's about a half a dozen cows that's going to get out with their calves, and we're going to get a bit of space freed up here. These 2 pens then that we have here are all the cows that are due to calve first. So they're all in here more or less on their scanning dates. So yeah, we expected more calves over the next few days, so we're just going to keep a tight eye on them. We also changed the position of our cameras. You might remember last year we got a camera system in, and we kind of spaced the cameras out in such a way that a camera was doing like a pen and a half, if you like, and it was okay, but we changed them around a bit. We put a camera to each pen, and we repositioned the cameras now. Rather than they were on the timber here over the lights on this side, now we have them over on this side here. So the idea of putting them on this side is we've now changed them. They're a little further out, so you're kind of looking down a bit more of an angle, and you can see into the back pens as well, so you can see what's going on with the calves too, and it's working well. Happy with it so far. So yeah, big thanks to Keith who came over and done a job on that for us last week. So super job, very happy with how that has turned out. So that's it for tonight's video. A bit of a catch up just on what's going on, how calving's going, how the beef cattle are doing, all that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that. Normal recording, if you like, will resume over the next few days. We will have a video up a little bit later in the week, and hopefully maybe get some slurry out. We need to get going on that. A bit of rain tomorrow, but a lot of dry weather supposedly towards the end of the week, and we'll get going at that then. So if you're not ready to subscribe, but don't forget to hit the sub button, leave a like in the video, comment down below. I will see you at the weekend. Take care.